Really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in 03.
Not all of them, some of them.
Yeah, I just seen the Breakfast Club. Jimmy be popping all that. I be seeing Jimmy talking about, we Gucci boo boo. He in the Gucci store. Talking about, we Gucci boo boo. The Black King they was going you up. Jimmy, they was like, Marita Moneda. Coca-Cola.
Jim Jones was never better than Nas. Jim Jones will never be better than Nas. And this is coming from somebody that's not a Nas fan. I love Dipset. I love the Diplomats. I love Bird Gang. But we not about to start rewriting history because Jim Jones got confidence.
Jim Jones pulled up on Shannon Sharpe's podcast and said he's not just relevant, he's more important to the culture than Nas. Yeah, he really went there. And the second those words left his mouth, everything shifted. 50 Cent didn't waste time with a diss or a name drop. Nah, he played it slick. He posted an old federal transcript on Instagram and let the streets go wild. Now people are digging up old wiretaps, pulling clips from back in the day. And suddenly Jim's in the gym, yelling on camera, dropping diss tracks like he's getting ready to do time in Rikers. But let's be real. This ain't just about Nas. And it definitely ain't just about some rap ego. This feels like 50 sending. A big message to the industry. Don't forget who's untouchable, and maybe even throwing shade at why some folks just happen to dodge federal charges. Jim might have been trying to flex, but now he's opened a door that could bring back heat from all directions. There's a reason why Jim bringing up Nas always hits hard. 'Cause that tension didn't just pop up overnight, it goes way back, all the way to 2002 when Nas went off on Hot 97 and randomly dissed Cam'ron, calling his album whack without even explaining why. This beef's got deep roots and it's bubbling again, louder than ever. That one Hot 97 moment lit a fuse, and Dipset came out swinging. Jim Jones dove in head first, no hesitation. After that, things got real messy. Nas and Dipset were throwing. Jabs threw mixtapes back and forth like it was open season. But Jim, he made it personal. He straight up said he'd smack the kufi off Nas and kept that same energy in his tracks. Songs like We Fly High weren't just hits, they were statements. But here's where things get layered. Jim wasn't always throwing shots. Just a year ago, he was showing love to Nas.
I never got to, I never got to sit down and have a conversation with Nas and things like that. I had called you about it and things like that. That was like, still one of the people that I never got to have a conversation throughout my history of rap and things like that. I think I would love to have a conversation with Nas. I wouldn't know if he knows it, but Nas was one of my all-time favorite rappers coming up and things like that.
I've heard you say that.
Since the barbecue and things like that. Like he really put the whole dope boy rap, crack hustler, get fresh rap into perspective before anybody.
That admiration turned to shade real quick. Everything flipped when Jim showed up on Fat Joe and Jadakiss's podcast. And Fat Joe, he stirred the pot like a pro.
Saw a clip on Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
that's my young boy
big hits.
He's wild.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you. He got his swag. Like, how crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying? Nas is like a god.
In my era.
That moment could have stayed buried in the timeline, but Jim wasn't about to let it slide. He wanted to go deeper.
Nas. But remember, Nas' first record, The Barbecue, came out when I was in 11th grade.
Yes.
So Nas was my idol when I was young. Like you did, came to dressing, the wordplay, the music, everything. I was a superior Nas fan. Period. I'd never take that away from him. But then as I got in the game, you got to realize that your rivals would be idols, and not to take anything away from that. I developed my own style and my own lane that these kids start to gravitate towards the same way I gravitated towards Nas when I was younger and things like that. It's a whole different.
And then, out of nowhere, he dropped one of the wildest takes we've seen in recent hip-hop talk. Jim didn't just say he's more relevant, he claimed he's more influential than Nas. We're talking about Nas from Queensbridge, the man. Behind Illmatic, the voice of God's son, King's Disease. The same Nas who's still packing out Madison Square Garden in his 50s. But Jim, he didn't blink. He stood 10 toes down on that statement. No backpedaling, no regrets. That interview didn't just stir the pot, it flipped the whole thing, lit it up, and left the flames blazing.
Came into light and started going crazy that these kids love me. They don't really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in 03.
Not all of them. Some of them, though. But
You know what I mean?
A lot
Like-
of them, though.
And just when the smoke hadn't even cleared, boom, Jim showed up on another platform. This time it was Shannon Sharpe's nightcap with Chad Ocho Cinco Johnson, supposedly to explain himself, but instead, he threw more gasoline on the fire.
Oh, me, Jim Jones. No diplomats, no nobody else. Me, Jim Jones. Check my track record, then check everybody else's track record. Then go to the billboards and check all my entries, then check all them entries and shit. And I'm not taking nothing away from nobody, but I hear the comparisons and then be trying to act funny when it comes. No, I've been spanking a lot of this shit about the industry. I've been putting.
Meanwhile, Ocho Cinco just sat there letting Shannon and Jim go at it like it was a grudge match on pay-per-view. Then things hit a wild turn. While they were still talking Nas and rap legends, Jim accused Shannon of only inviting him for clicks. That lit the fuse. "Ain't it? This the biggest podcast you ever been on," Shannon snapped. And just like that, Shannon Sharpe flipped from cool host to full-blown opponent. If Jim wanted smoke, Shannon was ready to take it to the gym and settle it with reps. When Jim said he was better than Nas, Shannon didn't just check his lyrics. He checked his physique. Instead of firing shots back at 50, Jim tried to pivot, turning the whole thing into a gym war, trying to prove he still got dominance in some arena. But while Jim was sweating it out and talking gym theatrics, 50 had already made his next move quietly, and that one label still sitting heavy in the background, ready to shake things up all over again. Meanwhile, the comment section was going crazy. Fans were losing their minds over the fact that a retired NFL Hall of Famer was out here defending Nas. One fan even said, "Shannon did what Fat Joe and Jada should have done. Jones, you delusional. Shannon, thank you for bringing it up." And honestly, they had a point. Why were Fat Joe and Jadakiss so quiet during that first interview? While all this drama played out in public, 50 Cent was posted in the shadows watching it all unfold. But don't get it twisted. He wasn't laughing. At least not yet. Just when folks thought the whole thing was funny and maybe dying down, it took a petty turn. That's when fans dug up an old clip that made jaws drop all over again.
Yeah, I just seen the Breakfast Club. Jimmy be popping all that. I be seeing you, Jimmy talking about we Gucci boo boo. He in the Gucci store. Talking about we Gucci boo boo. I'm like King they was going you up. Jimmy, they was like, Marita Moneda. Coca-Cola.
God, yo, honestly, I can't, like, if it was like Jim Jones, imagine putting a pen to paper to write about him. He was so nice. He was so nice about him. How did you do that? What's the first sentence? What the fuck do you write about him? I'm not anxious to hear the Jim Jones diss record. Like, I'm like, yo, the used to have so nervous was like B.I.G., Pac, right? Even Cannabis, like Eminem, used to have you like, if we go at it, dog, we gotta go hard. You know what I'm saying? But these Jim Jones, like, I respect you getting your money. You're like, exactly, right?
See the real disrespect? It's not that Nas clapped back, it's that he didn't. Jim didn't just get ignored back then, he got laughed off the stage. And now, in 2025, that same old energy is back like it never left. But it didn't. Stop there. While Nas stayed silent and Shannon kept getting more ripped by the day, someone else was lurking. The second 50 Cent heard Jim claim he was better than Nas. He didn't even blink. He just laughed, then reached into his bottomless vault of receipts and pulled out a straight-up bombshell. He brought back one of the most controversial rumors in hip-hop history, labeling Jim as Individual One. That one caption had the internet in shambles. Because if you know, you know. Individual One wasn't just a nickname, it was a federal code name pulled straight from the Tekashi 6 Yak 699 wiretap during the 2018 9 Trey case. During Tekashi's trial, prosecutors played a phone call they claimed featured Jim Jones. He wasn't named outright, but was labeled Individual One. In that call, someone was allegedly telling gang members to violate Tekashi for flipping on the set.
Yo, wait, let me get this off. Yo, Jim, yo, Wack, let me just get this off my shoulders, right? Let me just get this off my shoulders to show you what type of nigga I am. And while it's still early, let me get this off my shoulders. Jim Jones, right? He ran with the same niggas I ran with a decade before I met him. Jim Jones, the Dipset nigga, The nigga that was just over there dancing and shit on verses. Jim Jones was running with Shotty, Cafano Jordan, right? Mel Matrix, Jamel Jones, Road Murder, Roland Martin. He was running Fu Banger, Fuquan. I forgot his last name, Fuquan some shit. He was running with all of the cats I ran with and got his daddy for. You know what Jim Jones did? That nigga did not take care of none of them niggas. Cause when I ran to them niggas, Shotty was sleeping on the rug on fucking Madison between Tompkins and Troop. Mel Murder was on dates and Marcus Garvey was his baby mother.
Now, Jim's voice was never officially confirmed in court, and he was never hit with charges. But that didn't matter to the blogs or the streets.
Jim Jones was caught on wiretap telling Jamel, look, Jim Jones was caught on wiretap.
That's a fact.
And definitely not to 50 Cent. He never forgot that moment. So now, with Jim puffing up his chest on podcasts and trying to bait Nas into a battle, 50 saw the perfect chance to remind everybody what time it is. He dove into the depths of his IG vault and reposted a meme he once deleted in a flash, the one that had people whispering, "So that's why they ain't pull him in." Say it ain't so, Jimmy. Flashback to 2019, when the Shade Room posted an update from Tekashi's court case. A verified courtroom reporter said Tekashi named Jim Jones as a 9-tray member. 50 couldn't help himself. He jumped in the comments. Then came that now infamous clip of 50 looking straight up spooked, fake trembling, saying, "I'm afraid for my life. I mean, Jimmy is gang gang."
Right now in Texas, please, whatever you do, don't tell them I'm in San Antonio. Don't tell them I'm staying at the Four Seasons. Don't tell them, please don't tell them, man, because it's just so much pressure on me right now. I don't know what to do.
The internet? Dying laughing. Jimmy? Tight. But here's where things really shift. This whole beef didn't start with Nas. 50's been throwing shots at Jim for years. This new moment just gave him the green light to start dragging Jim all over again. Go back to 2007, when 50 brought out Jim Jones and Jules Santana on stage at a G-Unit show while Dipset was already crumbling. That move? Straight disrespect. Cameron saw it for what it was, especially since Dipset's internal drama was already spilling everywhere.
He was your man, like on the side, just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's Lloyd Banks thing. He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mace be that, and Cam be that, and looked at, and it was finally he had one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked, and I knew I just took the shot, Murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was gonna go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. You gotta watch to see how he responds. And then you see, he like, oh shit, he really like that. Give me this, get me Jimmy. Yeah, tell him we want you at the show, Jimmy. Yo, but that was one of those things, I just threw it out.
And by 2019, it came full circle. During Tekashi's federal trial, Jim Jones got that now haunting label, Individual 1, in a wiretapped phone call that's still shaking up hip-hop years later. Prosecutors played that wiretap in open court, even though Jim was never officially charged. But the name stuck, Individual 1. And the internet ran wild with snitching rumors, blogs, memes, Reddit threads. It was everywhere. Jim saw all of 50's posts, every single one. And at first he stayed quiet. Then boom, Jim clapped back with a classic Bird Gang era throwback photo dripped out in full Dipset nostalgia. The caption, "Why you keep lying? LOL. I'm going back to sleep. Free Mel Matrix till it's reversed." That shout out to his longtime homie locked up for over 11 years on racketeering? Strategic. It wasn't just love, it was a jab. A way of saying 50 was living in a fake world, pushing a made-up narrative. But Jim wasn't done. He followed up with a Jim Flex post, caption loaded with smoke. "Somebody tell Shannon Sharp don't start ducking this challenge now. Go and talk like a podcaster or go and walk what you talk, 'cause my sneaker's tied. He added, You already challenged me in front of the world, might as well finish the job. Chad said he don't want to do it in public. Cool, let's do it in private. I know your rep as an athlete is on the line. As long as you're the witness, we don't duck no challenges. Size don't matter where I'm from. Run it. So while 50 was still trolling from the sidelines, Jim was lacing up like he was heading straight into battle. And just when people thought he was going to ease up, Jim posted another dagger. If you 40 and up arguing with me about Nas, you already lost. Now it wasn't just rap talk anymore. It was generational smoke. Jim. Smoke, street smoke all at once. You fell for the bait. That's what Jim posted as his stream started climbing again like clockwork. Every time the Mel Matrix stuff goes viral, his numbers shoot up. And he loved it. Jim used the moment to school the older generation, saying they were stuck in the past. Y'all mad at how things run today. Tighten up. That line hit hard for some, but the real heat came in his caption. I said what I said. P.S. I'll wrap circles around any artist from my era. Whoever dares step in the booth, bring some money with you. This game ain't free. We outside in the field. Take that how you want. But he was working every day. Meanwhile, Nas, still radio silent, watching this circus from a distance, calm, unbothered. But Jim, still baiting, still talking, still calling himself more influential. And that's why. Fans are getting louder. Some are saying if Nas ever did respond, it wouldn't be just a diss. It would be a lyrical execution. Right now, Jim's throwing punches into the air, hoping to land one. Nas is keeping his cool. And 50? He's still lurking in the shadows, pulling strings like the ultimate puppet master. And just when you thought it might finally cool down, boom, Jim pops back up. This time with a cryptic post showing stacks of cash, a mic, and a caption that read, Y'all still talking, I'm still cashing. Fans couldn't tell if he was flexing or ducking, but either way, the message was clear. He's not backing. Off this wave anytime soon. And here's the thing. People ain't letting it slide anymore. Blogs started reposting old freestyle battles, pulling receipts from every corner of the culture, asking, Is Jim really that influential? Some fans are riding with him, saying he changed streetwear and brought that gritty Harlem swagger to the front line. But others? They're calling cap, claiming he's rewriting history to chase clout. At the same time, industry insiders started whispering that Nas might actually be in the studio just in case. Not for drama, but to remind folks why he's still considered top tier. Quiet power move. And while Jim's on Instagram dropping one-liners and gym selfies, 50 Cent is getting even pettier. He liked a post that said, Imagine losing a battle no one agreed to be in. Then unfollowed Jim again for the third time in 2 years. So now we're here. Jim's shadowboxing, Nas is locked in, 50's got popcorn in one hand and a burner phone in the other. Nobody knows who's really about to make the next move, but it's clear the smoke ain't settled yet. If that unreleased wiretap really exists, Jim might have just talked himself into way more than a diss track. While he's out here rapping, flexing and challenging anybody with a pulse, 50's been way too quiet. And when 50 goes silent, that's when the bomb drops. We've seen it before. He don't yell, he executes. No warning. No mercy. So now the whole game's holding its breath. Will Nas finally step out the shadows and shut this down with a few deadly bars? Or will 50 let the streets eat, wait till Jim gets real comfortable, and then drop that truth like a hammer when there's nowhere left to run? 'Cause let's be real. This ain't just about music anymore. This is reputation, legacy, and survival in a game where silence can be louder than any diss. So keep your eyes open, because the next move could change everything. If you're locked in with this saga, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You already know, we're keeping receipts, energy, and smoke right here. Appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next.